The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, this is going to be part 13, but I'm going to take a good look at 12 here to show you what I got. Didn't find much at all. But the text is here and it's about Jesus. So what I try to do is introduce you to the formats, what they look like when I get them cleaned up and get all the editing. This first verse here is a statement, and these 2 go together to explain the statement. Now, down here, there's a 4-verse format, and what happens here is this connects to this one, and this connects to this one. Now, both of these that I've shown you, they make a small paragraph, okay? And then what happens is together, they make a larger paragraph. I haven't decided how this is going to get divided in part 2. So what you can see here, though, if I bring it out a little bit, you can see the format, how I've grouped them together in what I've found already. Oh, yeah. I was finding a lot of pieces, just pieces in the text, and not so much anything as a complete story. Okay, now I'm going to start editing. I'm going to start editing the text here. I want to make sure it's decent so you can see. And if you have any comments, go ahead and put that in the comment section after I'm done with the video, because I'm live streaming these. And if you stop by while it's on, please comment in the chat. It might take me a second or two to get to you. But I always want to try to make sure I'm explaining to people that show interest. So here it starts out, the oracle concerning. Oracle is a pagan word for their gods and how they would say that this god is prophesying something. So this would have to be wrong. Or this is wrong. This would be like a vision. That's what our Creator speaks about, or to a prophet, by giving him a vision. So, and then it's not the word the, it's a vision. And you can see how I'm editing the text. When I'm adding a word, leave it italic, so later you will see it italic. When I'm changing a word, yes, it'll be green. When it's a very important word from our Creator, that gets all capital letters. Jesus is the one that gets a capital letter at the beginning, and his words or what he's doing, like walking, would end up being red text. Okay, a vision concerning Babylon. Now this is odd because which doesn't fit here. Isaiah, this has to be a son from, because I never know how many sons a male has, so I always do this type of editing because of is never correct. But a vision concerning Babylon, and if I put the word through, which I don't try to make it as a major word, so it's my shortening of these words, and I say that's not a major word, because I forgot to explain that when I'm doing any 3 or 4 verse, I'm looking for 2 major words and using the least amount of words here to complete the sentence. So like this word, it doesn't even matter here. Lift up a standard. Now what a standard is like the tribe's banner, okay? That because when they went into battle, they had a flag designating their group of men from their tribe. So this standard usually will speak about Jesus when it doesn't describe the tribe. So lift up, or is it really lift up, or is it raise up? I think it's raise. Rise, raise. Raise up, yeah. I think this is the right word I'm looking for. Raise, and those 2 words kind of go together. Raise up. I would say his standard. On not Bear Hill. Hill Mount, Hilltop, Hill. I think it's the hill's top. So since I'm adding this word, I do it with the gray text. Raise up a standard. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add this word. I'm going to go back here and say that I'm adding this to the word to be most definitive. And the barren, on a barren, so it can be seen easily as the point here of what I'm thinking the text is implying. Now this is a 3-verse where I have the period here, and this connects with this, okay? Now, here it looks like it's going to go into a 4-verse. This, if I add the word and, reads better. And wave your hand. And I try to do the little words to help me figure out what's going on. Raise a sound to not raise, but shout with your voice. Shout with your voice. Here I don't need this because this is this verse and this verse are connecting to say that this is a 4-verse. And wave your hand to them needs to be added here. And then these are added here. Shout with your voice and wave your hand to them. Now that's definitely a 4-verse, and it starts with a 3-verse. Okay, now let me explain something about the text and why they are jumpy like this. And that's because the first writers wrote in columns. And I have a slight understanding that the 4-verse is coming from like books that are, say, like for the kings at that time. And what it would be is that they would be writing in 4-verse of the complete story, and then of what he did throughout his lifetime. And then the prophets seem to be mainly in 3-verse columns, yet I found that sometimes when the prophet is writing and he's trying to explain more of, like, when he gave this prophecy that he would then talk to the people, sometimes the talking to the people will be in a 4-verse format. But also, there are many of these scrolls out there, so you'll find doubling of text, and what those who don't believe in our Creator, they started ruling, and they gathered the text and they put it in order for their God, but they needed to start with something before they started editing it, so the people that they were talking to would have a familiarity with the way these words would go together. So they were deceiving them by first doing it like this, not showing them the text, and then reading it to them. They were in control of the text. That they may enter the doors of the nobles. That is not what's going on here. If there's a vision concerning Babylon, raise up raise up your standards, because if Babylon is coming, there's only two here, and that's Judah and Simon, but a lot of other tribes would go, had fled for safety, went to Judah. And then when they left, then they went back to their land somewhat. Even though it was all, their cities were burnt, their fields were burnt. So it was a rebuilding for them, but you get the idea what's going on. But this, if Babylon is coming, this would be to how to act, saying this is what's going on. So it's not to enter a noble's house, okay? So, but you can see that when you see oversalted words like this, and that's what makes the text so hard to read for you right now. What I'm planning on doing is putting all the text together, group the 4 verse with the 4 verse, 3 verse with the 3 verse, try to make some type of order out of it, that because this is Isaiah. Isaiah is a prophet for these two kings. Now they've tried to stick him with this king and tried to stick him with this king, but they only lived maybe 65 years. And our Creator would usually send them out at the age of 15 this would be very early, 13 or 15. I know that Samuel might have started when he was like 12. Just the way the text is, the way he has it written. But what happens here is this is Israel, and it hasn't gone into captivity, so you still have to have the words about Assyria going into captivity, and those we have with the words Assyria. So I know that text is coming before here, because they come down once, and then 10 years later, 14 years later, they come down, they capture these 3. But then there's an ending here. And then if this text is coming from Jeremiah, or of Isaiah, it's got to be some of his last words or his last prophecy. So that's how you get an understanding of how I will put things in order. And right down over here, I have some of the books already put together, and then I have Psalms to the side. I think I got like 6 books. When you open it up, it'll tell all the books that I put in there, and that's pretty much, I'm working it backwards, so that way I know I have what really happened, and so I don't have to go back and cancel things out that said, well, this really didn't happen. Example, say like a death of the king, that didn't happen that way. And yet they put it in the text that way, but when I really done the text, it wasn't mentioned like that. But here, I have commanded my consecrated ones, and I've even called my mighty warriors, my proud exalting ones, to execute my anger. Now, it depends on how the prophet writes these, and then how the scribes write the text later. Do I emphasize our Creator is actually saying I, or saying he has commanded, or IYV will, this type of thing. So when I'm editing this text, I don't think I need the word even. That's just an extra word. Consecrated ones, they aren't consecrated ones. So I have commanded and called. Not his. So mighty warriors. To execute my anger. And this is strange because it's usually not the word execute. He usually says it's for his hatred or his wrath against the people that have went away from him and now they're in control. Example, oops, get the timeline here. This idiot here, he starts meditating to have sex with the so-called female goddess, and he starts putting his carved image of her into our creator's meeting room. So you know that the priests are corrupted, are away from our, have gone away from our creator. This is what these guys been doing ever since Jeroboam was first assigned as a king for the 10 tribes. So the thing there is it did take what, about 150, maybe, let's see, 30, 56. I guess close to maybe, oh yeah, these maybe 200 years. And then he said, I've had enough. And then you can see here, this, if it starts in his, then you have 50 and 50, 100 years, 108 years maybe. Then he gets rid of them again. So it's good to have the timeline to know how long our creator's patience is and what he means in a little while. It can be 40 years, can be 60 years. So I have commanded. I'm going to say and called. And that's going to be the first verse here as the statement. Because there's no way that I can say they're this is usually that they're consecrate means to like anoint them to be special. Okay, you can't make them holy. So I have commanded and called mighty warriors. You can't have the word my. Proud, exulting one. I don't think I'm going to use that. To execute my anger. And so this fuchsia colored word is a word that they added in 1977 NSAB. And why I'm using the 1977 NSAB is because I have this great Bible program that they do no longer put out for people to see. Because when I had to approach them and tell them with a legal letter that I'm using their text in order, they came and seen what I was doing when I was posting on YouTube when YouTube was brand new. And they seen me talking about how these words sometimes don't mean what they mean, so they kind of like show their own corruption of the text. But sometimes these words over here will help me to put a better word, and then you can't really blame me for changing the word. But when it says execute my anger, I'm going to use that word, so I'm going to make it mine by just making it black and leaving it italic. Well, I guess if I actually use it gray, that would be even better. To execute my anger, because it is such a major word. Most of the time it's like is, if, that I use. So that's not bad, but it does get to a 3 verse, which gets rid of this. Sound. No. It has to be they will sound, like their approach here. They're approaching and they will sound like a tumult. Now, this is where I try to say a 12-year-old wasn't going to understand this word. So if I come over here to the NSAB and I find it first, tumult, and then come down here, the sound of a multitude, see, or a rumbling. So let me see. I'm going to use the word multitudes, even though multitude is used 49 times. I'm going to use multitudes. Multitude. Maybe, maybe not. I think I've got this label wrong with a sound of a multitude. It's not on a mount, obviously. Let me see if I got another word here. Nope. Okay. Like that of many people. That multitude. Got the I in the wrong place. The sound of a multitude. See, now here it went from our creator speaking here, and then he goes to third person speaking about himself. So, not of an uproar, it's a sound of battle. Like that of many people. Those two hooked together as a comma. It's not a statement now. With the sound of war. I don't think battle, but war is better. With the sound of war. Now these two hook together too good, and this one's really, this should be before here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to move this text here and this says move verse up to versus, and if I make him blue like that, then what I'm going to do is copy this and make this 8 point so I can remove it. When I do my cleanup, it's easy. I got a macro that removes these, moves a lot of the text. Whoops. So moved here. Okay. To execute by anger with the sound of war, with a sound of a multitude, like that of many people. I think that's better because this is the statement and it was down here. So, because these two connect really well. Okay. Now this, I will say, has not been added. Gathered together, comma, as an army for battle. And that goes pretty good. And if this is Babylon here, now let me explain something what I'm just thinking about here. That in this king's time, I know there's text that's going to come up in Isaiah that's going to say that this commander came to the door or the gate for Jerusalem and mocked our Creator, and then he sought our Creator's help, and by asking Isaiah what is he going to do, and he says he's going to make him hear a rumor and he'll leave. Well, that rumor tells us that good reasoning by logic is that Babylon and Assyria are starting to battle out there between the two. So this text, it shouldn't be until right about here to figure out how long that battle is going to be, because he's right here when he turns and leaves. So Isaiah, when you look at how many years he's living, I just don't see him living over 65 years to say that he would be a king in this or a prophet during these days. I could be wrong. Maybe he's sent as a prophet younger, but that's because you aren't going to listen to a child. And I'm sorry, but I'm getting old, so we're 16, they aren't. If they average 65 years of life, they knew that 18-year-olds were adults that you would kind of have to pay attention to. Now, I know they did get married between 13 and 14 years old and should all be married by the time they're 15, 16 years old. So the thing here is at what time do they become a prophet? It's hard to say, but the text that is about Babylon might be coming from a different prophet here, even though they've got Isaiah listed here. So, but I just give you my reasons. But this would be a kingdom do I put with kingdoms? A kingdom 4 kingdoms. So I'm thinking that is because the word nation I'm using as a collective, like tribes to make up a nation, as a nation, and a kingdom is like Egypt where you don't have it all divided up. So this would be kingdoms here. A kingdom for kingdoms, gathered together as an army for battle. These two are connecting together. And then this one and this one are connecting together, and this one's going to be stuck. I'm just trying to figure out how this text is. Yeah, I got double space here. I try to do one space to say these are connected, and then this one I need a second space because it helps me when I'm editing. Now I've got to look for this combination to build the next small paragraph to become connected together. They are coming from afar. Now I know I'm going to use it as one word. They are coming from afar, from the farthest horizons. Okay, now let me see. I tried to do this earlier today, and this is what we know about. Babylon is going to battle with Assyria, but when it comes to the remotest parts, this is Gomer, so they've kind of like joined with Babylon. They fought and they lost somewhere a big battle along here where they ended up killing the king for Assyria, and then all this land they took over. Persia is not conquered yet. They're working this way. Don't have an idea who the people are here. They really don't have that in the text. But I can say this yellow right here is the Chaldeans or Chaldea. But this is what it means by kingdoms that have been gathered together. Because they're going to come and wipe out Damascus here, the Aram. But I just have no idea from the text who these people are here. From the farthest horizons, I'm going to say places from the heart. No. From the farthest lands. And this would be how they understood the earth. They knew it was round, but it would have been from the farther lands, not horizons. So I'm going to say the farthest lands. To destroy. Not to destroy, to take our land. They are going to destroy. They're going to kill a lot of people, do that. They're going to burn and pillage. So, but take our land, and I'm going to put it as a capital L, as a promised land type of meaning. This, because I'm not sure if this is our creator talking or a prophet explaining his prophecy yet. Still don't have definitive enough words to say that. Take our land for days. This is the days we're talking about. Our creators told them about. For the days for YV. Now see, that's like he's explaining or talking to people like after his prophecy. Oh, I'm gonna run Psalms over here off to the side. I think you've seen enough of me. The days for YV. Not near, but soon. Days for YV, period. For soon they will be coming. For soon they will be coming. Even though it might be 90 years, but that's how the text goes from time to time. I don't think I need the word for here. Soon they will. And this is our Creator's promise. Soon they will come. But if I have days for YV here, I can't have them repeated, even though it's a different title, or from his name to his title. For our destruction and captivity. For our destruction and captivity. I gotta say I'm adding that. Getting rid of this. Getting rid of this, adding this, and adding this. Now see, this is a 4 verse all of a sudden. All is everyone. Now this is, I don't need that word, but if I can make it a 3 verse, everyone, because this has to be warrior, because I have everyone up here. So, and I got to add the word everyone of our warriors. Everyone will all. Everyone will be weakened, be weaker, be I'm going to put weakened. Everyone be weakened. And every one of our warriors' hearts will not melt, will fear them. Okay. Fear them. This seems to be going along with this. Our hearts will fear them and will take hold of them like a woman in labor. What's another? This verse, let me get it below the line. And they will be terrified, pains and anguish will take hold of them. Terrified with anguish. Fear them. To be terrified with anguish. Don't think that's needed. As they look as they look at each other. That's too many words for a verse. So maybe this is extra text that's really not needed. No, I got the double space here, I got double space here, so this speaks of being weakened. So this has got to go up here. To be terrified with anguish as they look at another. This has to be with, and I don't like astonishment, just too big of a word here. So let me go over here, and this is 8. So if I get to chapter 8 here, verse 8, astonishment, shocked, amazed. Okay, I have 2 other words. With amazement on their faces. with amazement. With amazement. Whoops. On their faces. So this. No, this is not at each other. They got to be looking at them. They were terrified with anguish as they looked at their enemy with amazement on their faces. That's what's going on. Looked at. This has to be there. And this here. And I'm going to say that's too far away, so I have to add this text. Say it's my, but one had to look. Yeah, this is it. It's, to be terrified with anguish as they look at their enemy with amazement on their faces. Okay, now this can all now be brought back up here. One space. Now this means this is going to be divided here. The days for YV. I guess this is for YV. Is coming with fury. Is coming for his fury. Is coming for his anger. Whoops. Is coming for his anger. Days for YV. For his burning anger. Our land will be a desolation. Now I'm writing it one way. To write it like as if he's telling everybody it would be your land. So I'm going to use it as our land right now. And this is where some of the text, when I clean it up later, those fine points, because if I group them together, it does have a different meaning. The days for YV is for his burning anger. Their land be I'm going to put E here, desolate. This is our creator has prophesied this. So be desolate. He will kill off our sinners. Not its sinners, the sinners. Desolate. Yes. I gotta put as is this way. This as he kills off the sinners. I'm thinking for 3 verse, I'm going to get rid of this, and all this. Based on place has to be, for they are coming with fury. I got to put it here and then put up there, or they are. Okay, let me, because I'm thinking this is the prophet talking to people. It sure doesn't have that, like words from our Creator. For they are coming with fury, and our land will be desolate as he kills off the sinners. For the stars of heaven and the constellation will not flash. The sun will be dark when it raises, and the moon. The sun will be dark when it raises, and the moon. Okay. I have that. This is too much sticking the words together, and you can tell that's a different writing style. So, I'll punish the world for its evil and wickedness. I will put an end of their arrogance and pride. Let's see, it's going to be something like, for he will punish evilness. This is he will. He will punish our evil ones. He will punish our. This I don't think I need. That's kind of being said with the arrogance to the arrogance. Arrogance, I don't think I should use that word for 12-year-olds. He will punish our evil ones. And our good ones. Now this is where I want to use the word arrogance. To put an end to them. Let me see what arrogance is here. Put that up here. Arrogance. Their pride, yeah. I will use pride. I thought that's what it was, but I needed to. But that's arrogance. What was iniquity? Iniquity is usually wrongdoing, guilt. For their guilt. He will punish our evil ones. With our wicked ones. With our wicked ones for their, I want to say, guiltiness. He will punish our evil ones with our wicked ones for their guiltiness to put an end to them. Kill off the sinners. By punishing our evil ones. Wicked ones for their guiltiness to put an end to them. Okay, now that, did I have two spaces? Yep. So those go together pretty good. Now, this one here. I will make mortal man scarcer than pure gold. I don't think so. That isn't what he said in other prophecies. Therefore, I'll make the heavens tremble. No, that is not, that's over-salted words. Now this is just stupid. They will each turn to his own people, and each one will flee to his own land. That isn't the purpose. The purpose is to kill them off, so he's not going to let them flee here. Anyone who's found will be thrust through. Anyone who is captured. Anyone who is not captured. Who is not captured. Will fall by the sword. But this thrust through is fall by the sword. I don't like the word anyone, so I'm going to get rid of that. Who is not captured will fall by the sword. That's saying the same thing, so I got to get rid of that. Not anyone, everyone will be found. And not anyone, it would have to be most. Because he's going to leave. Because if this is talking about Judah, I know there's a captain and his men are left that after Judah, and the story comes from Zephaniah. So he's a prophet, by the way, if you don't know the prophets. I'm going to have to say many, because not everyone's going to be there. And they're going to leave the weak, the poor, the ones who are sick and ill that can't make the journey. So they're going, I think, at least 400 miles away. I think 300 to 400 miles away. Many will be found. And who is not captured will fall by the sword. Yeah, I do like that as a good grouping like that. Okay. They're young ones. Ravished is raped. Like that as their wives are raped. Houses will be plundered. Nope. I think I had it right the first time. before their eyes. So this is not what's going to be true. Before their eyes, their houses will be plundered and their wives will be raped. These two go together, and I'm looking for the next set. So it actually starts here, and then this is the grouping of those two. Behold, I'll stir up the Medes against them in the valley of silver, that takes pleasure in gold. Nope. That's this here, our Creator knows he's going to prophesy to Daniel and give King, not to Daniel, but Daniel, he's going to reveal the vision that King Nebuchadnezzar has of the statue. No, this. They will never be inhabited, that we know by history. That's wrong. Don't. I don't think this is needed, and I don't see this as needed either. Okay. So now I'm going to gather the text to clean it up. I'm going to save, but I'm going to make sure I don't get rid of any text there by just clicking real soon. Okay, let me see here. Didn't work. I hate that. I let my computer go into sleep mode. I had to run and do some things. So let me do. Color. Okay, I'm going to have to blow it up so I can look at it and you can read it as well. A vision concerning Babylon through Isaiah from a son from Amos. Now this is not connecting. But why would you wave your hand to them? Well, that's right. They added that a stupid thing about invite the nobles in. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to say that this text is out. And then this will become the 3 verse. And this will become the 2 verses that hook together. Then I got a double space. And then this and a double space. Then double space. And you can see how we're getting a very long story here. And then this go together. And then yes, this fit just right. this did good here. So let's see. Comma goes here, comma. Okay. I'm just checking here. Okay, now let me see if this is all one story here. A vision concerning Babylon through Isaiah, a son from Amos. I have commanded and called mighty warriors to execute my anger. Now this is supposed to be our Creator speaking. And he might have wrote it this way. Different styles of different writers write these, and you can tell when, if I keep going here, maybe that'll help. This has to be now from a sound of a multitude. With a sound of war, from a sound of a multitude, like that of many people, a kingdom for kingdoms gathered together as an army for battle. They are coming from afar, from the farthest lands to take our land. No, this would be your land. This is our Creator speaking, so and then this blows it right here. This means this has to be an R then here. Then this has to be he has. So now you kind of get the idea what I was saying at the beginning of the screen, how they write these words after, kind of compress them together. But this is all his prophecy, so let me do this. Oops. Right there. This was a big deal, and this was a big deal. So you can see like he's summing up the story, or what was actually said. Yeah, our evil ones. I'm reading, trying to see how it sounds in my head, and right now I do see all these being said. I just don't see it as how it was actually said from our curator, though. This is like a summary of what he said over many prophecies type of thing, to me anyways. But that is going to be the end for 13, and with some new editing yet. But other than that, I guess I'll be back in a couple hours. I finally got my sister down here to help in family matters. My dad's in the hospital. So, and I think he's going to be taken to a rehab. Okay. Have a good day and stop by and watch prophecy in action.